Diamonds are forever, forever, forever. Diamonds are forever, 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 forever. And ever.
Hi, I'm Tanya Williams, Chief of Everything from Digital Conversations, and welcome to Having Digital Conversations. In today's interview, I'm talking to professional jewellery designer, master jeweller, diamond grader of Xennox Diamonds, and author of Rock Her World, Carl Schwantes. I love a lot of bling and sparkle, as does most women, and Xennox is a brand that has gotten a lot of attention for not only the quality of work it produces, but the exposure it gets on social media. I'm going to talk to Carl today about how he's used social and digital platforms to leverage exposure for the Xennox Diamonds brand and how this has impacted growth of the business. Welcome, Carl.
Hi Tanya, nice to see you.
Hey, good to see you as well. So thank you very much for spending some time with us today. So firstly, why don't we start with talking about how or when the Xennox brand started and how business started?
Well, our brand is actually 37, going on 38 years old now. It was actually started by my parents 38 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's really something that I've been in all my life. So I just love what I do, and it's really in my blood.
It shows. Now, let's move on and talk about how you guys have been using social media and digital. Now, I know you guys have over 21,000 fans on Facebook, which is quite a big following. How long did that take to grow?
Well, really, I've been in Facebook now for about 4 years or so, and it's been a gradual increase over time. So it's not one of those things that's had a really big spike.
Yep.
And the way that we got there is by doing a lot of collaboration work with other Facebook pages and really having something where people could really connect with us on a personal level.
Yep. So is that what you would contribute the most success to, is the fact that you've collaborated and worked with other people to really grow that following?
Definitely. I mean, last year when I spoke at the SME Digital Marketing Conference, I talked about building a tribe of followers on Facebook. You really need, like any relationship, to have time.
Yeah.
And what I mean by time, I mean you have to consider your target demographic. So obviously for ladies, we use certain terminology and wording the way we speak.
And obviously lots of fabulous photos of lots of sparkly jewellery.
That's right. You have to introduce yourself. So this is the biggest thing that I find on social media, is that nobody really kind of signs off their posts with their name. So one of the things that I really do all the time is I always put Carl at the end of each post, so the people already know who they're talking to. And when they're direct messaging me, they often say, "Hi Carl," and then off and off. So that's really important.
Yeah.
You need to make it interesting. So having posts about things that ladies are going to like, so it's going to be not just about jewellery, it's going to be shoes, handbag, fashion, all of that sort of stuff that they love. And the last one, E, they need to engage authentically. So, you can't really fake it for too long. So if you're not being genuine in the way that you talk to people, sooner or later people are going to find out.
Yeah.
And having done this for such a long time, people over time have built up trust, and the reason that they've built up trust is because they know who I am. And we've even had people fly in from Melbourne and other states.
Oh, wow.
Just to kind of meet us and find out what we do, and they already say, "Look, I feel like I know you already." And that's just one of the things I love about the social media side of things.
So what other social media platforms are you currently using as well?
Well, I'm pretty much across almost all of them.
Yep.
Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, to name but a few. But my favourite ones, I'd have to say, are probably Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I think they're most people's favourites, just because I suppose the scope of what you can actually do on them as well. So in terms of digital overall, obviously you guys have got a great website and you're using other digital platforms. What's probably been one of your biggest digital marketing challenges today, or that you find challenging now? I
think just to manage all the different platforms, because I like all of them for different reasons.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a matter of getting to be familiar with all of them. And what my strategy for, particularly for 2015, is really starting to train some of the staff at Xennox to really understand how I use social and hopefully train them up, so then I can make each one of them maybe responsible for just one platform.
Yeah.
And I'll be the overseer over all of them, but train them in such a way that they understand how to connect with our audience and talk to them in the way that they'd love to be
and
talked.
And as you said it yourself, it's very important, because obviously every platform is different, and how you engage and how you use it is different to, from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter, for example. So I think that's one of the things that brands often forget, is they have the same message across every single channel, and you can tell when you go and look at what they're doing as well. It just doesn't come across in the right way and be engaging, I suppose, as well. So obviously we've spoken about your favourite tool. Okay, if I said to you, what's more important, a website or using social media to promote your business, what would the answer be?
Well, I have to say, I'm going to take the line fence here. You know, I have to say
sit on the
both.
fence.
Yeah, I have to say both because I think in this day and age, having one without the other is kind of trying to walk with just one leg. You know.
Good analogy.
Yeah,
you're just
going to go around in circles.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that they both work really, really well together. And for me, the social element is really that personal bit that adds just another element to your website. You know, so the website is in some ways kind of gives people a sense of, you know, what it is that you do, but not who you are. And I think for me, the social media gets people to know who I am.
Shows the personality.
Shows the personality and all of that behind the scenes kind of stuff that they can really connect with. So, you know, I wouldn't have one without the other. I mean, if you went back sort of 10 years and you said to somebody, you know, that internet thing, you know, you don't need a website. You know, we've still got the yellow pages.
What
yeah,
was
that's
that?
exactly
What are
right.
they?
So I think these days you need to have both. And I think if we move forward another 5 years, you know, anyone that doesn't have a social media presence or isn't really using social media in the right way, you're going to be severely disadvantaged.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. We've had conversations about this before, about how your competition using, or should I say not using it very well, digital channels. What do you guys do that really distinguishes yourself from what your competitors are doing in that digital space? So not just your website, but your social media channels as well.
I think it's the injection of the personality. I think like I said before, so many other brands that I see, it's just like a corporate Facebook page. They just really haven't understand why social is social.
Yep.
I mean, it's just this sort of blank phase where, you know, I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't really see any personality. It's all corporate speak. You know, there's no sense of who is this person really, you know, what are their values, you know, where is their passion, you know. So what I love to do is to really inject my voice in everything that I do. So whether that's in the kind of things that I post or even maybe a little bit of my, you know, wacky sense of humour, like with my Friday funnies and things like that, you know, that's me coming through, and it's just not that sort of two-dimensional.
But as you said, people can relate to that, and I think that's the thing that most brands forget is you're dealing with people. You know, you're not. You shouldn't be pushing messages out there just for the sake of, hey, we've got this, we're selling this. It's you're actually dealing with other people, and how do you engage with them and start a conversation. I think that's one of the things that you guys do very well, and we have spoken to about it before, because I know that you're very quick on responding on your social media networks, literally within minutes, and I just think that's awesome because that is just something that you never have from brands, big brands, small brands, whatever it might be. They just forget that it needs to be, it's reactive. If someone's wanting to engage with you and connect with you to buy a product, you need to be there. You know, and I think everyone just forgets to do that, and it drives me crazy.
I mean, that's one of the things I love about particularly Facebook. So, you know, one of my favourite platforms is really Facebook, but I love the fact that somebody in the comfort of their own home at 9 o'clock at night have got this idea that they really want to find out about something, or what's the price on this, or can I do this? And they can message me, and obviously I can just respond to them straight away. Yeah. And it's really about bringing it to the clients wherever they are in a time that's convenient for them, you know, because we're all so busy today, and it's just a matter of trying to be able to do something, and you see something and you have a question, and what do I do? How do I engage with that? And that's what I love to be able to do. Yeah. And you can also see with Facebook, you know, the whole message, it's an ongoing text message. So sometimes I'll see a conversation that I've started with somebody 3 months ago, then I haven't heard from them for 2 months, and then they re-engage and they ask another question, and I can look back and see the whole conversation.
Yeah. How do you, I suppose, feel with your audience? I suppose obviously it's very much, there's a lot of, you know, women obviously looking for diamonds and so forth. Yes. Do you get much of a male following on your social channels, and are they very active in engaging with you?
I think, again, with understanding about social media, is that sometimes people can be a little bit voyeuristic. Mm-hmm. So just because they're not necessarily engaging, or not because they're commenting, doesn't mean they're not following. Yep. So sometimes, while the guys may not be prepared to comment because it might show up in their feed and they don't want their male friends finding out, whereas ladies are more than happy for them to show the world about what they're looking at, they will message me directly and say, I'm looking at this, my partner has screenshotted me this, you know, how much is it for this? And again, for guys,
I'm guilty of that.
For guys, it's more about the numbers and the facts. So they'll say, here's a picture, how much is it? That sort of stuff. Whereas a lady will say, I really love this ring. You know, this is on
Hint,
my
hint, hint.
eternity wish list. You
Yes.
know, so you know, again, it's understanding about how to communicate with the different people.
Yeah.
You know, and understanding this is what guys are really after, and this is what the ladies really want.
Yeah, so really looking at segmenting your market and how you communicate and what language you use. So how do you then leverage what you're doing from a digital point of view? Because obviously you're very, very active on digital across maybe traditional marketing channels. So do you do much from a traditional marketing point of view, and how do you sort of leverage across both?
Well, I guess what we have seen over the last couple of years is that real big push and move to digital rather than conventional platforms. But I think a lot of the traditional platforms are now also all moving digital. So it's all about a matter of using whatever digital platforms that they have and leveraging that across. So recently we did a promotion with BMag and we built a landing page, and BMag sort of wrote a story for us and then directed the traffic also through there. So it's all about using digital these days rather than the traditional means.
Yeah, okay. So how do you see the role of particularly social media, because that's obviously one channel that you're very active on. How do you see that changing in the next 12 months?
Well, I can only see it getting stronger. And in terms of buying things online, I think there needs to even be a stronger connection. It's no longer just a simple shopping cart. Here's product A, you know, go through to checkout. What I'm seeing, and where I would love to see the whole social move, is to have more connection at that time of purchase. It's almost like a virtual sales assistant in some ways. You know, you're about to check out, is there anything more I can do for you? And having that personal connection through the medium of video. And I think that's, if I look at social, I think that's really where you're looking at, is more in that sort of video side.
Yeah, okay. I agree. I think that the growth of video, and we're seeing that already, is really starting to increase dramatically, just because people would much rather prefer now to watch a short video than, just like what we're filming here, than read, you know, pages and pages full of text. So I agree that video, and I suppose mobile, and there's lots of different channels that I think are really going to grow in that digital space. So, and I know you've recently become an author, so Rock Her World is your latest book, which is very exciting. You guys just did a very big promotion on this for Valentine's Day. Can you share with us exactly what you did with that and how that worked?
Yeah, so to celebrate the launch of my new book, Rock Her World, I wanted to create something really special. And one of the things I love creating for people is experiences. So I'm very big on experiences. So what we decided to do was celebrate the launch of the book on Valentine's Day. And I thought what would be amazing is to give somebody the opportunity to wear one of our rings. So I designed a special engagement ring, which I actually called Valentino, to celebrate on Valentine's Day. So it was a $20,000 engagement ring with a beautiful Passionate Hearts and Arrows diamond. And we decided to have a room full of people at the beautiful Aria restaurant. And we had 30 couples that were looking to get engaged but didn't have an engagement ring. And so out of those 30 couples, we randomly selected 3 couples. And we had them go to the back of the room, and I was there giving them some coaching advice on how to propose and make it special. And then one of those 3 lucky gentlemen chose the winning ring. And he came down onto the stage and he told his partner why she was so special and what he loved most about her. And then he did the most romantic thing I think a guy can do, and get down on one knee and ask her to marry him. So it was just a magical moment, and it almost had that really feel of like a wedding, which is, there was a lot of couples there just simply having a tear in their eye as well. It was just a beautiful morning.
So how did you select those 30 couples? Was that through things you were doing on social media?
Predominantly through Facebook. So believe it or not,
bringing the Facebook world into reality pretty much.
So the interesting thing is, without going too much into the backstory, but I basically had to fill in within a week the Aria restaurant. So within a week, I found essentially 80 people to be at my book launch, and the majority of that was through Facebook. And so, the power of social media is just amazing. That, we even had people fly in from Melbourne to be there, from Central Queensland, just to be at the event. And the reason that they knew about it was just through Facebook.
So all these naysayers that say social media doesn't work, you can prove them wrong.
I think if you really have the strongest carrot to get the people, to come to the event, definitely.
Okay. So, what's next for Xennox? Where to from here with you guys?
Well, I really want to get more into the video scape of things, and also for me, I'm really looking at establishing myself more as a speaker as well, where I can, instead of just helping 1-to-1, I can help 1 to 100 or 1 to 1,000. And that was also the motivation behind writing the book, was I could only ever, in the shop, deal with one person at a time.
Yep.
But if I could help more people and help them make the right choices about things to do, and there's actually a strong chapter in there all about social media and helping guys find out what their partner's like in the social media world. So if you understand that 64% of users on Facebook are ladies, and on Instagram it's 68, and even on Pinterest it's probably closer to 90.
Yes, Pinterest is very much female focused,
Yeah, so as a guy, one of the biggest things that they can't understand is, well, how do I know what it is that she really wants? And using these social media platforms, it's so easy to find out what your partner likes. You know, that's if she's not tagging you and sharing on our Facebook page. You know, so there's some great tips in there.
So virtual stalking is what we're talking about.
Yes, that could be your words, not mine. But it's really about finding about what your partner's style is and what's going to look amazing on her hand.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting.
It is.
Best of luck for everything moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for taking the time to sit down and talking with me about what you're doing in this space. Hopefully we'll talk again very soon.
I hope so too.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks a lot.